Yeah, cool. All right, ready to go?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. Jacquelyn, thanks so much for joining us here. I think we jump right in and get started. Would you please just introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself, your business, and what you guys do?
Sure. My name is Jacquelyn Cade, but feel free to call me Jackie because I know Jacqueline can sometimes be a mouthful.
Right.
I'm the founder for JMK Consulting, where I act as a fractional operations officer for small to medium businesses, and I also, of course, do some things myself under JMK Consulting directly. But we really, our main goal is to come in and help other small medium businesses utilize current technologies such as AI to streamline their operations and help them find some cost savings.
Very good. So I almost laughed when you said the word fractional because I know everybody that is a fractional something never is fractional.
Right? It skirts the line. Sometimes I have to call a timeout.
That's
I
right.
do.
That's right. Very cool. Okay, so in your industry, what are the trends that you're seeing that have to do with AI?
I'm definitely seeing the trend of one, how AI is really being integrated into almost every aspect, right? If you have the Microsoft suite, now you have Copilot.
Yep.
And what I'm seeing is that my clients who maybe previously didn't embrace AI or were a little wary are now more open because it seems like it's now almost unavoidable.
Right.
And where we really kind of come in and can help them out is that we're now coming in and saying, that's great, but there's ways to use it more efficiently other than just having it keep rewriting your emails. And these are the ways to really implement it in your business so you'll get the maximum output.
Yeah, 100%. So you probably have this conversation a lot. What kind of fears or uncertainties do your clients have about AI?
I would say the top fear I hear is the confidentiality.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Interesting.
yeah, and it's mainly because we also deal with quite a big segment of people who work in the federal space. So they do a lot of federal contracting. So those kind of give you a little bit more sensitivity, I think, to, when they're using Copilot and they're sending something to GSA or Department of Interior, is there some confidentiality concerns with that? And I'll be honest with you, I have one client whose legal team won't allow note takers
Right.
at all, right? Because they're like, well, now things are, that causes problems down the road. And it's a little bit blurry about the legality of like, are these admissible?
Right.
And things of that nature.
Hmm. Yeah, very interesting.
Mhm.
What are they excited about? Like, got it that they're kind of worried about that. What do they like or excited about with respect to AI?
The time savings. So especially even one of the innovative spaces I would say where AI is really starting to come into play is the building out of proposals.
Yep.
um, where maybe it would have took you months to start gathering everything, going through the 80-page solicitation and pulling out the key points. Not to say we still don't say, okay, we got to still put a little bit of a human touch to verify, but it's now a much quicker process getting all of those requirements kind of in one place and an overview to share with the entire team and setting it up for efficiency's sake. So I felt like this has translated very well over to not just my federal clients, but the ones that also play more in the commercial space.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great point. Hmm.
Hmm.
So your business specifically, how have AI, what has AI done to your business? How do you use AI in your business?
Well, it is really, I would say, transformed not just my business, but maybe even my operating structure,
Uh,
where I was able to have now I have a smaller, leaner team, but I feel like we're more productive and we get more things done.
hmm.
Being from a more of the consulting space, we have to do quite a bit of proposals ourselves, putting together presentations either for ourselves or on behalf of our clients. So really embracing not just the regular things that comes to mind for people like ChatGPT,
Yep.
but utilizing things like Gamma to do quick, landing pages, how to do quick presentations, and already having a lot of those brandings, the branding templates already installed. It makes it so much easier to the point where I love, like, say, Canva. Everybody uses Canva, right? But
Yep.
now we really use that more as a supplemental tool, whereas we have much better AI tools that come up with better graphics based on prompts and based on past history.
Yeah. Yeah, it's super useful. And it's amazing like watching it build, right? Like you put your prompt
Hmm.
in and you watch this thing build out and you're like, wow, like that would have taken me 2 hours to do by hand.
Exactly. Like I remember slaving over PowerPoint presentations,
Yeah.
trying to line things up correctly and get
Yep.
just the right wording. And we still go through and edit it, but just having that base to start from and not start from scratch is a game changer.
Yeah, it saves a ton of time.
Hmm.
Cool. So what do you think your business does really well?
What I think my business does really well is simplifying the complex. Really, because you tend to get a little bit like, in when this is something you day to day, you're using the terms of the industry, and to you it seems simple, but relaying that to people who this isn't their day to day, they're new to the space, they're new to AI and all of its offerings, and they can easily get overwhelmed. Taking that and kind of really simplifying it and saying, like, no, this is a really easy way to add it to your current systems and processes that you have, and this is going to be the benefit.
Right? Is your customer base mostly like federal government? Is it a mix of commercial? What's your
I would say if I had to give it percentages, it's probably more like 80% contractors in the federal or state government space, and then the rest would be more commercial or private.
Okay.
Um, and this is where we're kind of starting now, really hadn't used a lot of AI lead generation, but really starting to kind of get into the AI lead generation to see how we grow the private sector.
Right, right. What kind of AI tools are you using there?
We've looked at or started using to test out Apollo
Yep.
for that piece. But I think recently I saw someone demo, or she started using a different system, and it escapes me what it called. It might be called Secretly or something similar to that. I have to look at what it's called. That seemed really interesting. So it might be something we check out.
Yeah. Very cool. Okay, so where do you want your business in like 6 to 12 months?
In 6 to 12 months, what we do want to do, like I just said, is probably expand a little bit more into the private sector.
Yep.
Um, not cut down on the federal or not continue to grow in that area, but it's right now with the federal space, there's just a lot of question marks on where funds are going to go, be appropriated to which agencies.
Yep.
So even what I see is a lot of my clients are looking at, how do they diversify their business and start playing a little bit more in that commercial and private space also.
Yeah, on the government side.
Hmm.
Oh, interesting. Which government do you generally support?
Well, it just varies because I support the contractors, right? So
Ah, okay.
I support the contractors who are usually dealing with the different government agencies. So right now I'm doing business development for a construction company.
Okay.
But they've been in business 15 years, so I think they've touched about just about every agency because it's construction. Everybody at some point needs something built
Right.
or renovated. So they've worked with USDA to Fish and Wildlife. And then you have people who are in the service industry. So a lot of janitorial contracts. I feel like I always tell people this: if you can think about it, the government probably has a contract for it.
That's
Um,
it's totally true.
yeah, I have a lot of people I started working with maybe in the last couple of months in the L&D space,
L&D, what's that?
learning and development.
Oh,
So
okay. Yep.
looking at where they have contracts for a lot of the school systems or school districts, but
Yep.
even at the federal level, where they're bringing in people to facilitate leadership trainings.
Got it. Got it. Now, how are you finding the government contractor types? Like
Um,
I know the
yeah.
government puts out their RFPs and RFIs and all that,
Hmm.
but how do you find the contractors who need your services?
So it's a few ways you can do that. there's a process where when they put out RFPs, you can put yourself as an interested vendor. So, if that's in our area, we can see who's interested in that solicitation and, reach out to them directly. A
Mm,
lot of it is through referral. Because if you
yeah.
do a good job with one person in one industry, they tend to definitely refer you to others. So that has been super helpful from our end, at least. And then lastly, just really, I still attend industry days
Yep.
that the government does, things of that nature, and just network from that standpoint.
Yep. Okay, so you were saying in 6 to 12 months you want to try to diversify a little bit more towards the commercial side.
Hmm.
What do you think will be the biggest challenge that will be put in front of you to
I
try to
think
get it?
the biggest challenge would be communicating, how making operational efficiencies a priority
Mm-hmm.
is going to assist in the long run with your profitability. Just right now, a lot of people are very budget conscious, cost
Yep.
conscious. So they're just taking longer to think about decisions that they're making. Even though the budgets are coming out for next year, it's just seems like the process is taking a little longer and everybody's just trying to probably not be as I would say free to approve things that, they can't necessarily see an immediate return on their investment.
Yeah. Yeah, especially things that help save time or reduce staff, right? Like they have to almost feel that before they're like, yes, sign me up.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so good conversation so far. So it sounds like you're moving towards trying to expand the footprint. Now, you said you wanted to expand in commercial. I get it from the business side, but personally, what drives you? Like what drives you in your business that you're taking this track?
I think this kind of drove from me being formerly in the corporate space, having worked for some, big and small companies. I was at Home Depot corporate for quite some time. I always tell people it's funny. My family used to joke, right, that I went to college for 4 years to get a degree, and then I went into retail on the
Yeah.
operator side and worked in retail stores. But I definitely would take that experience away because that experience really laid a great transition for me moving into the corporate space and working for retailers. Yes, I may have started there ringing up people at the cash register, but then I became, inventory analyst, a supply chain analyst, moving into the buying spaces for a Target, a Sears, a Home Depot. So really learning that in that last corporate space I was for an international company that was actually headquartered out of Germany. So really getting that exposure and then at the international level, um, and seeing both sides of the coin, from operator to corporate. One of the things that as I kind of to continue to grow in each level up to director level, was the exchange of time, right? When you're managing people in any of those areas, how do we effectively utilize their time so that we're not, whether they're hourly or salary, you want to make sure that we're maximizing that because that still is an expenditure. But I also wanted to make sure that people didn't feel like they didn't have that work-life balance and or feel like they couldn't go to the dentist because they were overwhelmed with the amount of work they had. So that's what kind of started me going down the path even as I worked for others to say,